So, this Waiting in the Winds project that we're doing at Cast, it's 250 years since the first theatre opened in Doncaster. That's the whole celebration of the project, and it's going to be really good. It's a big community piece where over 50 local performers are coming together and sharing this story of how Doncaster has evolved in terms of performance, in terms of theatre, and what the town, now city, kind of has to offer. So part of that is this exhibition. And so I'd love to talk to you. I'm here with Bipolar Abdul,
Hello.
who is a local, a Doncaster-based drag artist and has performed so many times in Doncaster. I've seen them myself so often and I've been blown away every time. So yeah, if you'd just like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself and about your connection to Doncaster.
Okay, well, as previously mentioned, I am Bipolar Abdul, drag artist of about 13 years, I think now. Started my drag career in Doncaster at the Hull Cross pub, which was very briefly a gay bar for a very small speck of time.
Yeah.
Long enough for us to paint the bar with glitter, so, but not much longer than that. And yeah, I've performed all over different venues in Doncaster, in different formats. I do have a real strong affiliation with the place.
So when you first started out performing in Doncaster, what was it like as a member of the LGBTQIA plus community? What was Doncaster like as a space for you to perform?
It was a really welcoming place. Like at the time, I didn't really know of many AFAB drag artists at all. I thought I was doing something new. But people seem to just sort of take it in the stride and, get down on it and enjoy it and welcome me into the scene. It was sparse, there wasn't a lot, but I don't know whether it's just nostalgia or what, but like I remember it as one of the fondest times.
Yeah. So what's one of your kind of earliest memories of performing in Doncaster, or like a performance of yours early on in your career that kind of stands out?
Don't think any of them were stand out at that time, to be honest. I was pretty crap at the start. Just like every performer is, I think. You're always a bit ropey to begin with, aren't you? I remember doing the first Doncaster Pride after party that I ever did. I think I was dressed as a nun. And just having so many, what I thought was so many people in front of me watching me perform, and it just felt like amazing. Like obviously all drag artists are attention seekers, it's on the job spec, but it just felt great. It felt so like a big community thing that I'd never experienced before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the standout.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other ones. I probably couldn't tell you examples of like exact performances, but I can tell you like fleeting moments in spaces around where we were performing, like when we lost all heating and hot water in All Cross and we were having to figure out how to get changed whilst wearing a parka backstage, and things like that I just I hold really warm.
Yeah.
Won't stand for it now.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing that just makes you feel all fuzzy inside, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause I remember, when I first came out and started to feel comfortable going out as a gay man in Doncaster, I felt like there were actually spaces to go. And even though there were few and far between, there was, you mentioned the Hull Cross. I know there was Bar NY.
Yeah.
That was open for a time.
That was in many different iterations as well,
It became Crystals.
Yeah, and then it was Bar NY again.
Yeah. Yeah. I always forget which way around it is. Turns out it's the whole way around. And then there was what Camelot's was, which is now Estabulo. It was Trinity.
Yes.
There was that space as well. I remember going there a few times. And it's, now there's no dedicated LGBT space, especially for performance in Doncaster, which is a shame. I mean, with Cast, for example, we have LGBTQIA plus programming, and we have shows, external shows that come to us that are brilliant to see, and it's good that we're having more and more of them. But in terms of local performance, like I said, dedicated to our community, there's just nothing at the minute, which is a shame. But it's good to know that Doncaster's had it once, and hopefully it'll have it again.
Yeah, definitely. There's always potential there. But yeah, it is a shame that it just. I think because, especially with performance, it's not. There's not a lot of affluence, and especially in the queer community to create these spaces. And we're treading the boards, but we're scared they're going to fall through. And I think sometimes that's the issue. The gay bars that we've had, the queer spaces, haven't been the best aesthetically, because there's been no money
Structurally.
to do. Yeah. I remember Bar NY just sticking posters over the holes in the walls.
I remember coming to the Hall Cross quite a few years ago now, and I saw yourself, I saw Ebony White perform, I saw Miss Naomi Carter perform, and up until this point, I mean, it's a lot of years ago now, but up until this point, I hadn't really been to see a lot of drag performances live at all. This is pre like RuPaul's Drag Race, for example. And when I went to university in Chester, there were kind of LGBT nights that were available, which was amazing. They called it Tuesday. The club there, Roses. They on a Tuesday they called it Gender Blender, and in the top floor was Metal Pig, so rock music and kind of chart queer music, and we used to call it Rock and Cock. Yeah, and it was so good, and that's when I sort of came out a bit more of my shell and saw more performance and kind of recognised my own kind of gay identity and what it means to see people in my community perform, and then coming back to Doncaster and then seeing that yourself were performing and others were performing in my hometown. It felt amazing. It felt great that something was there for us to see, and for me it was a whole new world.
Yeah.
Having not really seen it much in Chester, and then coming back and seeing it, I thought it was wonderful. And I remember the vibe just being incredible. Looking around the Hall Cross, and I mean, it's not like the biggest pub, and it just felt like a really nice, full crowd.
Yeah.
In there, and yeah, I can fully picture Ebony White just in her big black beautifulness.
Yes.
Just on stage, just slaying the house down. It was so good to see.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. Like, going back to me saying about the not being the funds to, make it the all singing, all dancing gay clubs like you get in the big cities. But, you can build a vibe in a biffa bin if you want to, and that's like what we always tried to do. And I think sometimes in places like Doncaster, where the outside of that bar might not be the most accepting, we'll egg each other on in there. Yeah. To go on a day to be really queer.
I think that's brilliant. And, Doncaster's rich in amateur dramatics and things like that. And there's always been space for that and time and room for those kind of groups to grow. And do you think that the nature of what you just described in Doncaster, when places are not the best, not the most polished, do you think the fact that you had to adapt to these places made your performances what they were?
Yeah, I think so. I think as well, like, sort of, not to toot my own horn, but I'm renowned as like a very good host now, because I'm too old to be chucking myself around stage anymore. So I do a lot of hosting now, and I can read a room really well. And it is, having to adapt to places like that.
Yeah. So, as a member of the LGBTQA plus community, as a queer person, what does performing and performance and self-expression mean to you individually?
Oh God, that's the right question. What does it mean to me? Well, I live to entertain. I'm not so much on these series. Every now and again, I'll knock a serious one out. But it has to be really like of the moment. Something's happened. I need to do a performance about this. But the majority of the time, it's about making people laugh and like finding like, my people, like you're all my people because we're all queer. But if I say do a performance that's absolutely littered with the most niche of references and one person laughs, that's my person. I found them.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to hang out for the rest of the night. It's a way to connect with you know, loads of people at once. Like you get to know me in 4 minutes and I get to know you lot. I get to know what makes you tick.
Yeah. I think there is an element of kind of personability with drag performances, and you know, putting so much of yourself and your personality and your interests into what you call niche performances, but also more serious performances as well. Just there's a level of connecting with the audience that's so sort of, it's different to what I do. For example, I perform in amateur dramatics, plays and things like that. And it's such a different kind of performance, and you connect with the audience in such a different way, but definitely I wouldn't say any more powerful than what I experience, for example. It's just very different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is very different. Like I obviously really admire what you do, but also because you're so physically far away from the audience a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And like I've done it. I've performed at Cast on the stage, and that felt very alien to me. Like
Can't see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah, like you know what I'm like. I like to get in the crowd and climb on tables and people if they let me, and
Yes.
you know, have that physical connection. And sometimes as a drag performer, you can lean on that a little bit. Whereas like what you do, there's no leaning nowhere.
No, absolutely not. I know, you know, when I perform, for me, I guess what performance means to me is it's like stepping out of yourself into a narrative, a story, a character that is so other than you and yet takes elements of you. And that ability to either express things that you do feel and have not had chance or medium to fully express it, or something that you're exploring in yourself, and you think, you know, you delve into this character, and you just, the feeling, for me, this feeling of expression is such a powerful tool. And you know, you come off stage and you just think, your blood's rushing, and you just feel, I mean, depending on the role obviously, but you've delved into something really innately human. And I think for me, as a queer person, that's wonderful. Whether I'm playing a queer person or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But delving into that humanity is so transcendent. I think it covers every kind of person that, you know, you play a kind of human. And to me, I guess drag has elements of that as well, in that, you know, like you said, with niche references, you're trying to, you're connecting with people. It doesn't matter if this person is part of the community, or you know, is an ally or a potential ally. You're connecting with that person through performance and through entertainment. Yeah. And I think it's, for me, it's so powerful, and it makes you feel alive, I think.
Yeah, it's quite interesting you're saying about stepping out of yourself, because I feel the opposite. Like when I'm making a drag performance, I spend all my time out drag, out there with all the normies, you know, dampening myself down a bit to sort of get through the day sometimes and fit in.
Right.
You know, when you're a very queer person, you know, very visibly queer, I've spent a lot of my life, a lot of my childhood and my teenage years being told I'm weird all the time. So when I'm getting a performance sorted for Bipolar, I'm stepping into myself, and that's when I get to really just do whatever the hell I want, you know, and really show them.
This is me.
Yeah.
I love that. So, other than your own performing, do you have a significant memory of a performance in Doncaster that you've seen someone else do, someone from the LGBTQIA plus community, and you've thought, this is stellar, this is amazing?
Well, God, yeah, loads of times, hundreds probably. Obviously, when we did Fluidity, we were watching each other perform every month.
Yeah.
So, God, yeah.
Can you just give a quick example of what Fluidity was at the time?
Okay, yeah, so sorry everyone. So Fluidity was a monthly queer night that me and Ebony started when the Hall Cross shut down. Because when I started doing drag, like, as I said earlier, I didn't realise that other AFAB people were doing it, and I used to think to myself, they're going to rumble me at some point soon, they're going to figure it out. I'm quite lucky that I sound the way I sound, you know, I didn't get rumbled very often. And I'm going to have to stop doing it. But no, it were fine. And then when All Cross Show, I thought, I can't stop doing this now. Yeah. We've got to keep going. So me and Ebony decided to start Fluidity once a month. We got Naomi Carter on board and Anna Pop eventually. We did it in all different venues all over Doncaster. We never found somewhere that fit right, unfortunately. But we cycled it round everywhere we could. We did warehouse, we did vintage, we did decades. Where once we went actually all in drag to perform, and it had been shut down and nobody had told us. Yeah, all the shutters were down, all the furniture were gone. There weren't even any stock in building. Yeah, we were all just stood there in drag.
Oh my god.
We went to Spoons though; it were fine. And various other places. So, yeah, that was when we sort of all really came into our own, because there wasn't anything else happening queer-wise. So there wasn't a standard to meet. We set it, and if I'm honest, we set it really high.
Yeah.
And we did some of the weirdest, craziest, most beautiful artistic stuff. I feel personally, and if anybody tries to argue with me, I won't listen. I feel like we were beating out some of the big city queer nights with what we were delivering at the time. So I probably can't, like, I'm going through it in Rolodex in my head, but there are just so many that were prevalent and, you know, fantastic and effervescent and gorgeous and wonderful that I probably can't. You had to be there.
yeah, and thankfully I was several times, and I'm so grateful for that. I suppose kind of to round off, Doncaster's performance scene, especially for this community, has changed over the years, and it's nowhere as it was. Maybe it's changing into something in the coming months, and you know, with the work that Cass is doing and whatnot. I don't know, but what would you like to see performance-wise for our community in Doncaster?
I would love a night once a month with a couple of cabaret blocks. Because thing is that I worry now the younger queer people, especially, if I'm totally honest, skinny, white, cisgendered gay men are just watching Drag Race and wanting to mirror that, and we're losing the grit from the cabaret scene. Like, I want grit. I want somebody that's got one eyelash stuck on at a different angle to the other one. I want somebody with ladders in the tights. Yeah, I want bad makeup, but brilliant performances, because that's what drag is for me. It's nothing to do with what you look like at all for me. It's the energy and the ability to hold a room with your performance, to either make me laugh or to make me think or something like that. That's what drag is. It's not, you know, how nice your finger waved wig is, because that's boring.
Yeah.
And we are losing that. And I think when we did have drag cabaret happening, people were seeing it and they were thinking that's cool, and they were trying things and, you know, giving it a bash, and it weren't just about looking pretty. It's so easy to look pretty. Anybody can do it. But it's not easy to create something that people still think about a year later. So that's what I'd like. And it, you know, it could be in back room at Staff Alive or whatever. I know they don't have a back room, but you know what I'm saying. Like the back room of a crap pub. And that'd be fine, you know. And it's just something that I feel needs to come back. And maybe not just in Doncaster, but like generally.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's what I'd like.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I think this has been really great, and I really hope that Doncaster, you know, evolves into something more open, more and puts its money into this community a bit more, and into performance spaces generally. And I think when you do that, you offer, you know, space and room and voice to all parts of the community, not just our community, but the wider community. And yeah, hopefully we see some more artists like yourself coming out of Doncaster in coming years.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.